Welcome to one of the most beautiful times of year at Heron Island. This is turtle hatchling season, and it is a spectacular event where you get the opportunity to see all these baby turtles running down the beach and making a break for the East Australian current. Now there are a few things that you need to be very aware of, and that is we cannot have any lights on the beach whatsoever. No artificial lights are allowed. That includes your phone lights, red lights, all those different lights. They are not allowed on the beach. Now they do say there are turtle safe lights. However, they have been tested here and they are not turtle safe. They definitely disturb the turtles. In other parts of the world, there are turtles that are not affected by lights. However, here at Heron Island, they are most definitely affected by lights. So no lights on the beach, period. Now, when you are walking on the beach, make sure we continue to stay in the middle to the water's edge. This will give us the best chance of not trampling on any hatchlings that are just below the surface, up at top of the dune. And it'll also give the mamas a chance to continue to lay their nests because they are still laying at this time of year, or at the start of the season. Now, if you're coming at the start of hatchling season, which is January, and it ends usually in April, then if you're coming in January, make sure you check out my nesting video above, so that way you can check out what to do with nesting turtles, because you will see both. And the start of the season is always the best because you get to see hatchlings and you get to see the big mamas, and sometimes you even get to see them crossing paths, which is beautiful to watch. Now, the process of the hatchlings and how they survive life is once they've hatched out of their eggs, they will work their way up to just below the surface of the ground. And this is the super important reason of why it is so important to stay out of the dunes during this time of year. They might be only centimeters below the surface of the sand, and if you're walking over the sand dunes, you won't even know about it, but you're going to step straight onto a whole nest of baby turtles and most definitely kill lots and lots of hatchlings, which at this stage of life, they need all the help they can get to get down the beach. So do the right thing and let's protect these beautiful turtles. Now, when they're sitting below the surface, they're basically waiting for the temperature to change outside for them to know that it's safe to run down the beach and to have the least amount of predators around for them to actually get attacked. This usually happens, this temperature drop usually happens at just after sunset. And so just after sunset, you should start to see turtles starting to make their way down the beach. And this can happen anytime from sunset right up until midnight, even further on, just depending how the turtles are feeling with the temperatures and when they decide to actually run. And when they do run, they pretty much do it all together. They'll all just bunch up and just go down the beach. So that way it is literally survival of the fittest. So yes, some of them are going to get picked off by birds, some are going to get picked off by sharks, but the idea is that there's so many turtles running down the beach that there's bound to be at least a handful getting through all of these obstacles that they face. And this is a natural part of the island. And please do not interfere with the process of birds and sharks feeding on these turtles, because these birds and these sharks do need to feed as well, because this is also their home and they do actually come in for these events. So if you're a shark lover, excellent time of year to be here. They will be all over the water's edge and feeding on these baby turtles as they enter the water. Now, when these turtles enter the water, their next challenge is to make it across the reef out into the big blue and make it into the big giant currents that circle the world. And then they basically get into those currents and travel around the world for the next 20 years. At that point, somewhere around there, or that 20-year mark, they will then eventually make their way to the top of the Great Barrier Reef and start working their way down, looking for a feeding ground and also looking for a mating ground. And if they're a female turtle, then by the time they've reached maturity and they're starting to mate and they're starting to lay eggs, guess where they come? They come straight back to Heron Island and they nest at Heron Island, which is such a beautiful circle of life and one that I am so blessed to be able to see all stages of. So it is quite a beautiful time. Now, if you have any questions on turtle hatchlings, make sure you drop that in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in again. I really do hope you enjoyed this one. And make sure you share this so other people get this valuable information and they can interact with these beautiful turtles in the most respectful way. And so without further ado, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.